Good evening and welcome to the 8th Annual RTS NI Student Awards. My name is Katie Andrews and I'm a journalist for UTV, and I am delighted to be your host this evening. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic, this is the second time there has been a virtual setting for our collective celebration of your educational achievement at our colleges and universities across Northern Ireland. We were due to celebrate in the Black Box again, but we're delighted that you can join us online. Now, we welcome Dr. Stephen Farry, our MP for North Down, to the awards. He doesn't miss a year and that commitment is so appreciated. Also joining us online this evening are leaders in the creative industries as well as NI Screen. Now, I would like to take a moment to guide you through the shape of this evening's celebration. After our formal welcome from the chair of the RTS NI Student Awards Committee, Aidan Brown, we will have the pleasure of hearing from our guest speaker, Oisín Kearney, who will deliver the annual Joe McKinney Memorial Lecture Award. The late Joe McKinney was, as you know, a lecturer in media at the Belfast Metropolitan College, who taught myself and many students who are now enjoying great success in the industry. Those thoughts will be followed by remarks from Dr. Stephen Farry MP, and we will then have the screening of show reels for the films nominated in the various award categories and hear the results. Finally, we will hear from Fiona Campbell, chair of the RTS NI Committee, someone who has enjoyed great success in her media career and is controller of programmes at BBC Three. Now, ladies and gentlemen, Aidan Brown is a senior lecturer at the Belfast Metropolitan College and a freelance news presenter at UTV. He is also chair of the Royal Television Society Northern Ireland Student Awards Committee. Now, with his thoughts on this very special evening, please welcome Aidan Brown.
Hello everyone and a very warm welcome. Thank you, Katie, for those very kind and generous words of introduction and for comparing so brilliantly this evening. Thank you also on behalf of everyone at Belfast Metropolitan College for returning to classes to enrich our curriculum by inspiring students with your story of success at UTV. Now, a year ago, I recorded a video welcome to the awards, and it was my hope and earnest good wish at that time that we would be able to meet in person at the Black Box in Hill Street for a formal celebration. While that isn't possible, it was at the insistence of the immediate past chair of the RTS in Northern Ireland, Vicky Taggart, that we have an online celebration. And we're grateful to all of the judges who have taken time from their busy diaries as industry professionals to judge the student entries. Now, at this point, we'd like to say thank you to Northern Ireland Screen for their ongoing partnership and pay particular thanks to the Department for Communities for their support. All of the RTS Northern Ireland Committee has worked hard on this event, but in particular, I'd like to pay tribute to the awards subcommittee, Bernard McCluskey, Stacey Burns, and the incomparable Scott Duffield. I'm sure, like me, you're looking forward to hearing the thoughts of Dr. Stephen Farry MP and our keynote, Oisín Kearney. At this point, I'd like to thank you for joining us and say sit back, relax and enjoy coursework from colleges and universities across Northern Ireland. It's now our pleasure to introduce the Joe McKinney Memorial Lecture. Please enjoy some of the award-winning work from, and then welcome, Oisín Kearney.
Right, I can see the swelling there, obviously, before I've even touched it. Right, do you mind if I... Feel the weight of that. You've been carrying that around with you? Gosh. Right. Here, we have some medical students in here today. Do you mind if I get them in here just to have a wee look?
No. Just say no. Just say no.
So, if you all look here and notice, the swelling has actually stretched the skin of the scrotum quite extensively. I'll just go in and feel the epididymis.
Today in Northern Ireland, you're not allowed to ask people their religion, or you're not allowed to put that religion on any forms. We had a word with Pastor John to try and subtly determine, which denomination he was from. Now, he very subtly didn't give us any answers
What would you do in here?
This is a house of belief, a house of faith, a house of God.
Okay. What kind of faith would that be? Is it just any particular...
All the faiths.
In a service, what would you open with? Blessing, or would be...
Live long and prosper. May the force be with you.
What is practiced here? What...
Practice makes perfect.
If someone were to come in here, like...
Nanu, nanu.
Hello, my name is Oisín Kearney. I'm a writer and a director based in Warrenpoint, County Down. I've worked across theatre, radio, television, film and documentary, and I've worked from the roles of researcher to assistant producer, director and screenwriter. I'm just going to talk to you a bit today about how I got started in the industry and the path that I took. First off, I just want to say congratulations and well done on all your hard work. It's been an extremely strange year, and to create anything in these times is a fantastic thing, so well done. I'll tell you about my journey first. I basically went to university and I studied politics, and from there I knew I wanted to work in production of some kind. Documentaries was a thing I was very much interested in. So I basically came out of university and I started applying for a lot of things. I wrote a lot of letters, a lot of emails, and I got very few replies. And then I was very happy to see that there was a production scheme that was getting advertised. This was called the Aim High production scheme, and it was run through BBC NI, Skillset and Northern Ireland Screen. And I think they were looking for 15 or 14 people to come and work in production and technical side, and from there was able to start working in the industry as a researcher. So I think I went around 4 different companies, mostly through Factual. You did about 4 or 6 months at each of those, and you learned as much as you could before moving on to the next one. And then at the end, hopefully the idea was that you were going to get a job out of it. Luckily from that I was able to get work in the BBC. So I was working in BBC Northern Ireland Factual, making network shows for, I think it was for about 6 months, and then I went to work for Below the Radar, this company that I worked with before, and then from there started to work on their international documentary side of things, called Fine Point Films. So it was working as a researcher and then an assistant producer or associate producer on films such as 66 Days, which is a documentary that looked at the 66 days of the hunger strike of Bobby Sands. And that went on to be very successful, had screenings in Canada and the United States, in Amsterdam, and I think was one of the most successful films ever to come out of Northern Ireland at the box office, and one of the most successful Irish documentaries. After that, I was working on a film called Eliane, which looked at the story of Elian Gonzalez and the custody case of Elian Gonzalez between his Cuban father and his relatives in the United States in Miami. I went over to work in New York on that film for a year, going down to Miami and to Cuba and Washington, D.C. for interviews. And that film was Oscar long listed and Emmy nominated, so that was a great thing to be a part of. Following that, I came back to Belfast and I started working freelance as a director, and I started directing my first documentary, which looked at the Colombian peace process and the conflict. I knew that I also was wanting to diversify and do much more than just documentary. So I started doing much more theatre, and started writing as well. And then it was at this time I started working with a friend of mine who I'd met at university, Michael Patrick, and together we wrote the show My Left Nut. So we took that to Dublin Theatre Festival, then to Belfast, and then to the Tour of Ireland, then to the Edinburgh Fringe Festival, and we ended up developing that show into a BBC 3 TV series. At the same time, we were writing another play called The Alternative. It opened at the Dublin Theatre Festival, and it picked up 2 Irish Times Theatre Awards. So I was trying to diversify and do more theatre, and also do documentaries and film work and TV. So that brings us up to lockdown. I've been writing another play, which is looking at the centenary of the Irish border, developing a few ideas for London-based television companies. I wrote a one-off radio drama with Michael, and that was for Radio 4, and hopefully will be on later this year, and also a 6-part comedy series for Radio Ulster. So that's my story. I don't want to linger on that, but I want to tell you a bit more about what tips I can give you to get started. I would say if you know what you want to do, then just go for it. If you don't know what you want to do, explore. Don't worry, you don't have to know everything at the start. But every person you can speak to, every book you can read, every course you can go on, do it, because that's the only way you'll figure out what you want to do. I would say be persistent. When I got out of university, I was applying for jobs and work experience, and I said before I heard from hardly anyone. So what I decided to do was I decided to message a company and say, I'm turning up for work on Monday. And yes, they didn't like that. They got back to me and they said, under no circumstances can you come in here. But the good thing was I got them to reply and they remembered me. And although I didn't work for that company, I ended up having dealings with that company later on, and they knew who I was. So, you know, try every trick in the book that you can get. I'd say be resilient. TV and film is a world that it takes a long time to create things. So I would say just stick at it. Don't worry if things aren't turning out immediately. Also be ready for failure. Be ready for things not to work out. Anybody who's worked in development will know that development hell is a specifically hard place. It's where you're coming up with ideas and they don't go anywhere. And I'd say about 98% of ideas never see the light of day. So just keep going. And when that idea that is yours comes through, it'll be so much more rewarding. Eliane took 4 years to make. And although it was excruciating at times, you know, when we saw the film in the end and when it did so well, we were so happy. Again, My Left Nut, when we were taking it from a play to a TV show, there were so many stages along that process that I just wasn't sure it was going to work out. But we just kept going and we kept our focus, and we got there in the end, so we were delighted. Another thing I'd say is do your research. You have to know your audience for the work you want to create. You have to know what time slots you want that work to go into. You have to know who is going to watch it. Also, that applies to when you are looking for jobs. I mean, if you go into an interview and the interviewer asks you in the job, what is it that you like about what we do? And you don't have an answer to that, you're going to be very awkward. So you need to know what the companies that you're applying for do. Watch their films, their documentaries, their TV shows, listen to any interviews they've done, read about them, because that will be the best way of understanding if you're the right fit for them and if they're the right fit for you. No one's going to hand you anything, so, you know, keep working, figure out new skills that you have, make yourself indispensable. I remember itching to get my hands on a camera and there was no opportunities for that, so I just started doing it on the side. I saved up the little money I had and bought a DSLR camera, I think for about 300-400 quid. And I just learned the principles of what made photography work, and then brought those into the workplace, and it made me better as a producer and a director and a filmmaker and a storyteller to understand the dynamics there. So always look at ways to upskill yourself, because that'll make you stand out from everybody else. I'd like to finish now on things that I wish I'd known. Couple of things. It's a marathon, not a sprint. You're chomping at the bit to work as fast as you can, to excel as fast as you can, and to get those big jobs. But you really need to take your time to learn the crafts, to meet people, to network, and to really figure out what you want at the end of the day. I'd say follow your passion, as you don't know where that'll lead, and that could mean that you start doing one thing but you end up becoming an expert in something else, and that's brilliant because it means that it's what you want to do. And you know, you're going to be doing this job for the rest of your life probably, so it might as well be something that you love. You know, it needs to be something that you want to get out of bed to do. Educate yourself on your rights and industry standards for conditions, work, pay, because a big thing I find is that when you're young and you're trying to get work, you'll do anything. You'll say yes to everything. Now, that's great to be enthusiastic and to say yes to as many things as possible, but make sure that you are happy. Make sure that you know why you're doing it and what is expected of you, and make sure that when you're negotiating contracts that you understand what should be in that contract and how much you should get paid, because that at the end of the day is how you learn to respect yourself. So that is something I wish I'd known, and I think, you know, it's not easy to do all the time, but it's great to hold that as important, that not only should you do the work, but you should have work that a workplace that respects you. The main thing I would have said to a younger version of myself is not to rush things, to try and enjoy things as much as possible, and do what makes you happy at the end of the day. Again, it's all about doing it for yourself. Just keep creating, keep going, and you will forge your own path. That's the thing, that, you know, everyone's paths are different, every job is different, and that's the beauty of working in the creative industry. So if the passion is there and if you're a hard worker, you're going to succeed. So just know that and keep going. Congrats again, and I hope this was helpful, and hopefully see you soon. All right.
RTS Northern Ireland Committee is most grateful to you for taking the time to share your thoughts with us all. Now let's move closer towards the part of the event that you have all been looking forward to, or perhaps nervously anticipating. This celebration of student achievement is an extremely important and special occasion. It is a chance for you to celebrate all your hard work, effort and dedication with those who have supported you along the way. A panel of industry professionals were greatly impressed by the level of creativity and talent which was exhibited by the entrants. With his thoughts during this very special event, I'm pleased to welcome Dr. Stephen Farry, Member of Parliament for the constituency of North Down.
Hello, it's my great honour to be once again associated with the RTS Student Awards. My association with the awards goes back initially to my time as Minister for Employment and Learning, but I have remained a keen supporter ever since those days. And this is really a great opportunity to showcase the real strength and depth that we have in terms of local talent, in terms of media and creative industries, and also to pay tribute to the real strength and depth that we have in terms of both our local colleges and universities. I of course want to recognise everyone who has been nominated and shortlisted for one of the awards, and of course to pass on congratulations to all of the winners. Obviously Northern Ireland is going through some difficulties due to COVID alongside the rest of the world, but we do need to think about how we come out the far side and how we re-energise our economy. And I'm certain that what we do in terms of creativity and media is going to be fundamental in placing Northern Ireland back where it belongs on the world stage. So we have real strength and depth in Northern Ireland. This is something we do really well and something we need to capitalise further. And these awards continue to go from strength to strength in that regard. And I want to close by thanking all that the RTS and the local committee do in that regard. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Farry, for your inspirational words. Now, ladies and gentlemen, our first category is animation, and the two final nominations are as follows. The Forlorn Piscator by Matthew McGuigan from Ulster University, and Antisocial Behaviour by Lindsay Clark and Philip Steele from the Northern Regional College. Now, let's have a look at the clips from each of the shortlisted films.
Physical abuse is the harm enacted onto someone through the means of physical contact that causes deliberate pain, such as slapping, punching, or shaking. Mental abuse is emotional maltreatment towards a child and the persistent effects that halt the child's development.
Now, I'm delighted to announce that the judges made an award of highly commended to one of the shortlisted films. Judges noted that there was good, strong graphic work on a serious topic. That film is Antisocial Behaviour by Lindsay Clark and Philip Steele from Northern Regional College. Well, a big congratulations to you both. Now, ladies and gentlemen, in the animation section, the winner is The Forlorn Piscator by Matthew McGuigan from Ulster University. Judges noted that the film was technically superb, the emotional portrayal brilliant, reminiscent of the early work of Nick Park. Well, a big congratulations. Now let's sit back and relax to watch the extended extract from The Forlorn Piscator. Oh, a big well done, Matthew, and many congratulations to the team at Ulster University who supported you. Now on to our second award, which is the non-scripted category. And the two final nominations are as follows. The Rising of Jordan Antinji by Joe Warden, Nathan Emery and Rhys Williams from Ulster University, and Isolation by Aidan Roberts from Northwest Regional College. Now let's have a look at the clips from each of the short-listed films.
The misconceptions I've experienced in rap music in Northern Ireland is like, it's not common, so trying to make it relate to people I always find interesting, but people sort of relate to it because of the instrumentation of my music, so I think that helps. So they're slowly getting used to it, but still, there's still the misconception. It's like, oh, it's rap music. Oh, it sounds like they're gonna swear, or oh, they might swear on my stage. It's always a misconception of like, oh, it's too dangerous. Like there's no like full grasp on it yet. So I think it's still coming together, but like, the things like the BBC have been helping me and stuff like that, just to try and push it forward and show that they can have a good message as well. So, yeah.
The world is changing every single day. The streets are empty. Many businesses and schools are closed. Families divided, isolation, and in many cases, even death. The economy is declining, but we need to fight this together. We need to remember that our qualities and connections are more prime than fortune. We need to remember that our workers are key to a great and maintained economy. And we need to remember that we are all the same, regardless of our demographic characteristics or features. So now we must take this time to reflect on what really matters in this world and become more of a unified society. Eventually, we will overcome adversity like we always do, but for now, it's important to stay safe and never forget about what the community is doing to pull together during these times of crisis.
Now, I'm delighted to announce that the judges made an award of highly commended to one of the shortlisted films. Judges noted that it was heartwarming and well produced and filmed. That film is Isolation by Aidan Roberts from the Northwest Regional College. A big congratulations to you. Now, in the non-scripted section, the winner is The Rising of Jordan Atunji by Joe Warden, Nathan Emery and Rhys Williams from Ulster University. Judges noted that it was professionally finished with great use of contributors and was beautifully shot. Now it's time to relax and watch the extended extract from the film.
The misconceptions I've experienced in rap music in Northern Ireland is like, it's not common, so trying to make it relate to people I always find interesting, but people sort of relate to it because of the instrumentation of my music, so I think that helps. So they're slowly getting used to it, but still there's still the misconception is like, oh, it's rap music, it sounds like they're gonna swear, or oh, they might swear on my stage. It's always a misconception of like, oh, it's too dangerous, like there's no like full grasp on it yet, so I think it's still coming together. But like the things like the BBC have been helping me and stuff like that to try and push it forward and show that they can have a good message as well. So yeah. In the next 10 years, I see myself on like massive festivals, like a lot bigger, worldwide. I'm gonna try and be worldwide, reach a lot more supporters, like get more supporters on my side, more videos, and more content that is more relatable. My style, my look, my sound, that's what makes me unique in the music industry. Also, the message that I say is always different to other people, and the instruments that I use and the blend of genres makes it different. One of the messages that I make is you can do anything by yourself as well. That's one thing that I really talk on, is like DIY. So doing anything, if you put your money into it, you can do anything. Even if you don't have money, you can just start from somewhere and you can go out and do it. And consistency is a big thing.
Many congratulations to Joe, Nathan and Rhys. Now moving on to our third award in the scripted category, and the two final nominations are as follows. She Cries at Night by Stephen Parker, Jean McLaughlin, John Lennox and Josh Bell from Northern Ireland Film and Television School at Cirque. And High and Dry by Benedict Goddard, Sam Bell, Ross Cullen and Morgan Lutton from Queen's University Belfast. Now let's have a look at the clips from each of the films.
You were doing it again last night. Crying, I can hear you from down here.
You're hearing things.
For the last 4 months. I recorded you last night.
What?
You won't listen to me.
You're losing it, Jake. You really are.
Abby. Please, let me help you.
Well, come on. Let's hear it, so.
He's done it now, Mel. This is it. This is the one.
Jim?
No, he's out.
Jim?
He's out.
Jim, listen to me. Not tonight. Any night but tonight.
What are you on about? You hate him more than I do.
I'm aware, Jim, but if you just listen. I'm with Peter Grant. Revolution Records, Peter Grant. He loves you guys tonight. This could be big. Very big. So if you just keep the fucking act together.
Yeah, and what about me?
It's great. Sure, it's something limping over to the paramedics. You'll be grand. In worst case, we could just get a session drummer anyway.
You know what, Mel? I should have listened to you years ago.
Jim? Jim? Bring him over now. Sean? And Hill. Jim! Ah! Jim! Ah! always ruin everything. Ah! Jim! Oh God, you're such a baby.
Now, I'm delighted to announce that the judges made an award of highly commended to one of the shortlisted films. The film is High and Dry by Benedict Goddard, Sam Bell, Ross Cullen and Morgan Lutton from Queen's University, Belfast. Judges noted that it was funny, enjoyable and well crafted from set design through to performance. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the winner in the scripted category is She Cries at Night by Stephen Parker, Jane McLaughlin, John Lennox and Josh Bell from Northern Ireland Film and Television School at Cirque. Judges noted that it had high-end quality and was a polished piece created on a budget. Now, everybody, please join me in congratulating all of those students who were nominated. Please sit back, relax and watch She Cries at Night.
You were doing it again last night. Crying, I can hear you from down here.
You're hearing things.
For the last 4 months. I recorded you last night.
What?
You won't listen to me.
You're losing it, Jake. You really are.
Abby. Please let me help you.
Well, come on. Let's hear it, so.
It's fine. You're still grieving. Okay? We've had a shit couple of months.
What's that? That's me getting into bed.
It's not.
Yes, it is. Listen. I've heard that cry before.
You must be sleepwalking or something.
It's not me crying. You just heard it. I was in the other room.
Abby, have you stopped taking your sleeping tablets?
What are you trying to say? Where are you going?
Work, funnily enough. And then the chemist to change your prescription.
There's nothing wrong with me.
I'll see you tonight.
A big well done, everybody. Now we move on to our final category, which is the Craft Award. This is only the 4th time we have made this, and I am pleased to announce that the winner has been awarded the trophy for excellence in directing. The judges commented that the piece created an amazing performance. There was also great use of music, set design and camera work. The Craft Award goes to George O'Hagan from Ulster University for his work on Fear for directing. Congratulations to you. Now let's check out the film. Ladies and gentlemen, the Northern Ireland Committee of the Royal Television Society has within its ranks a wealth of academic and industrial experience, which has been put to work in organising and judging this competition. With her thoughts, here's Fiona Campbell, Chair of the RTS in Northern Ireland and Controller of BBC Three.
Hello, my name is Fiona Campbell and I'm the Chair of RTS in Northern Ireland and the Controller of BBC Three. Well done everyone tonight. It's been a really tough year and to have made it this far and achieved this kind of recognition is really impressive, and I'm really hopeful for all your futures. I just want to say thank you to Oisín and Katie for taking part in the event this evening, and also to the organisers and to Aidan and Scott for putting this together. Better times lie ahead, and I'm really hopeful for the sector in Northern Ireland and the ability of this talent to shine through. Just focus on your ideas, be committed, work hard, and you will get there. Good luck.
Oh, thank you very much, Fiona. We do hope that you have enjoyed our award ceremony this year. I now wish you all the very best in your future careers.